There's a new style taking over all social platforms. LinkedIn, TikTok, and YouTube channels are actually too stimulating right now, and they're not retaining anything from the video, no value from that. A new editing style is actually emerging that is authentic, and it doesn't have cuts every second, graphics, dingers, bells, everything. Who am I? I'm Nikolai Klock. I'm a former aerospace engineer turned video specialist. And I've actually experimented with this style, and it's led to generate more than 1 million views for myself and my clients. I want to share my insights to this style. So we're seeing a reversal from these hyper-edited retention hacks. Retention editing is what YouTube superstars like Mr. Beast, Logan Paul, or Casey Neistat are using today. But is this the best approach for everyone? No. The answer is no. First off, what is retention editing? It's a cut every 2 to 3 seconds. It boosts watch time and retains viewers, but it actually sacrifices the connection and value from the content. In this video, I'm going to show you the 3 problems with retention editing. I'm going to show you exactly who's using this new style of editing, and I'm going to show you how to implement that. And as a bonus, you can email me with any questions. I've edited videos for more than 1 million plus views for myself and my clients and generated $10,000 in revenue from this. However, the quality and connection with the audience actually suffered from this. There's 3 main problems with retention editing. The first is that the viewer doesn't get the value that you could give if you spoke to the camera like this. It's hard to build genuine connections with the viewer because you are just cutting it every single second. You're cutting out anything and everything. This also attracts younger audiences with less buying power, which is not the purpose of a business. Number 2, that we're actually building relationships here, not just viewers. You want to actually emphasize one over the other. Which one do you want? Do you want viewers that don't do anything, that don't subscribe, that don't actually go in and buy anything from you, that don't do these types of things? Or do you want viewers that are much more connected to your actual target audience, people that actually care, people that are searching for what you're offering, the value you have to give? Editing for attention actually creates a barrier between you and your audience. It doesn't build actual connection that speaking does. Think about if you're talking with your grandma, sitting down at a bar with a friend. You wouldn't just cut your sentences where you left off. You wouldn't cut out things. You would talk through the entire situation and you'd actually go in depth on things. You wouldn't just go ding, ding, ding randomly and try and get people to listen, right? You don't just start yelling to get attention when people aren't looking at you. Creating meaningful connections doesn't require these hacks. It just requires you actually talking authentically from something that you know. Problem number 3 is that there is a much lower revenue potential here. Retention editing actually attracts a younger demographic with a shorter attention span, less buying power. It reduces overall earnings from your products and services. Now let's get into where we're going, where the audience is moving towards. You want to deliver value first, you want to build connection second, and keep viewers watching third. This is the order that you should structure all of your videos with. Of course, you need to do some minimal editing like I'm doing here to actually get your points across and showcase what you're doing. Online has a minimal editing style, very authentic. He talks to the camera, high production value, and you feel like you're in the room with almost a friend. He's focusing on connections and examples rather than overly flashy edits. Creator number 2 is Dan Koe. I love all of his content. He is simple, authentic, raw. He even puts in some outtakes, which you can see me doing here as well, because he wants to build that authenticity. He's not perfect every time. He stutters, right? If you only produce content that is overly polished, people think you're perfect and they can't relate with you. This is a big problem we're seeing in the industry now. You want to have those outtakes in there every now and again. Koe still uses some elements of that hyper edited style, but it's very minimal now. And you can see he has a raw, slow paced editing style that actually retains the viewer and keeps them sitting, staring, watching, because he's providing so much value up front to a generic top of funnel audience. Creator number 3 is Jake Frew. Jake often has cuts in his scenes, but it's not hyper edited. He's taking all of his clips from the videos themselves. He's in a talking conversational style, and he'll have graphics come up on the screen every now and again, but it's not every single second. If you can provide the value without the cut, if you can show the value, then it actually gives a lot better meaning to the audience. Something I don't want you to forget is not to sacrifice quality for retention. A lot of people are tailored towards these younger audiences, and they are using various game clips, the hyper sounds where they just flash up on the screen or they pop up or their head falls off, These things are very easy to do, but they do not retain the audience. You don't get the message across in the first place that you would like it to come across like. How do we actually implement this style? We want to first plan our videos. I'm using a Panasonic G9 Lumix camera, and I'm actually using a Rode wireless mic here as well. And this helps increase the audio quality, but it also helps increase the production quality of the overall video. You want to talk to the camera like this is your friend. Think of it as your brother, friend, family member, whoever that might be for you. Let the editing amplify your personality, not actually take away from your personality. And the last point is not to over edit your text, graphics, images, anything like that. Keep it simple, minimalistic, and make it add to the picture, the message you're trying to get across. Don't take away from what you're actually speaking on. Retention still matters, but not at the cost of authenticity. Retention still matters, but not at the cost of authenticity and value. Take some tactics, but not all of them, to use to your advantage. So what I want to leave you with is to first take my email. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out, subscribe, of course, but also start to value authenticity over the views. This is a problem that everyone is seeing now, that they have a huge audience. They don't have a value. They don't have an audience that trusts them. Authentic editing builds relationships and trust. That connection will ultimately lead you to grow an audience that values you, trusts you. This connection with your audience will ultimately lead to more meaningful growth and success. This connection with your audience will ultimately lead you to growth and success with your channel with the right audience. Thanks for watching.